got an interview for the dream job, and after working with him, I got it, and it was simple and it was easy.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed the journey.
Oh, has it helped? Yes, it absolutely has. It's definitely helped in knowing the market a lot better and knowing how to how to put myself out there. Like, I would never ever have touched my LinkedIn ever. I didn't see LinkedIn as a valuable resource at all. Yes. So in saying that, it already has proven to be.
It's what I say. I think you guys are great and change people's lives, and it makes a lot of difference.
You deliver at a very high level.
It was really enjoyable. You learn a lot. It was really easy going step by step.
You did? Just before when they do. So that was, I think session 5, the interview session, if you ask me, was my favorite out of all the 6 sessions.
So it's not only helped me in my personal branding, but it's helped me now on the business side, where I feel very, very capable to go into, you know.
Hey, super legends, superheroes, and superstars. My name's Dre, and welcome to another episode, a live episode of the Hot Hire podcast. Man, I'm really excited about today. So we are live on LinkedIn, live on YouTube, and live on the old book, the Facebook. So there's about a 20-second delay. So if you guys are watching live, let me know where you are tuned in from around the world, and put in your favorite emoji. Mine is the fire emoji. Absolutely love it to bits. You know what to do if you're watching the replay, hashtag replay. And with today's guest, actually, before I bring him out, I just want to plug something. So I've got a challenge which is going to be starting on the 7th of February. It's a 5-day lead blitz challenge. So it is suitable for small business owners. So if you need leads for your business, if you need paying clients, drop me a DM, let me know in the comments, and I will get you on the challenge, because it is going to be fun, it's going to be fire, and it's just so valuable. So I want to try and help as many people as possible. All right, so my next guest today, absolutely love this guy to bits. He is, I don't want to use the word nice, he leads with his heart. He genuinely wants to help people, and he's such an inspirational guy. So he runs marathons for fun. I just can't get my head around that. And he is a 4-time best-selling author. So I am absolutely pumped. So without any further ado, I want to give a big, massive, actually, whoa. Before we get him out, grab yourselves a cup of tea, cup of coffee, maybe some biscuits, and a piece of paper, because that's right, we're about to tear it up. A big, massive, warm welcome to Neil Thrussell.
Well, I love the intro. Thank you, Dre. That was fun. I really like it.
Mate, I'm just so excited that you've come on. Because I haven't heard all of your story, but we've had a few chats, and what you've been through, the adversity, and what you've achieved in your life is just incredible, absolutely unbelievable. So we're going to get straight into it. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I was born, in a small town in the wilds of Canada, and anyways, we all have the victim mentality, and we all have our adversity to overcome. So I am no different than you or the next person. We all have a story, and some of them are just a little harder to work through. In 2012, I had a sudden catastrophic memory loss to the point where I could get lost in my own neighborhood, and I forgot conversations that I could have just had with somebody 30 seconds ago. And what got me through, or it helped besides good family and a wonderful wife, was my ability just to accept, my ability not to be the victim and just go, so what can I do next? What can I do now to move me forward? Because in the middle of my memory loss, I was in the absolute midst of writing my second book. And the first one went at bestseller status, so there's internal pressure to keep up the good work and make it happen. And as I'm doing this, I'm writing this book and I can't remember what I just wrote the day before. Could not remember it. So I had to reread everything that I wrote prior, and then I could stop. So sometimes I would be reading for hours because I was getting later in the book and before I could actually write. And it comes to a choice. And the choice is, what can I do to make things better? What can I do to move my life? How do I want to live my life? Do I want to live it as a victim, or do I want to live it by choice? And I choose by my choice. And I'm no different than anyone else, that life sometimes gives us beautiful obstacles. Memory loss was one of them. And I just choosing from choice. I have been told that I have a very Pollyanna approach to life, or I always see things through rose-colored glasses, and it helps and it works for me. It may not work for you, but hey, it works for me.
Right, Neil. So people, I believe, this is just my hallucination, my illusion, that the majority of people that were faced with that choice, I don't think they would have taken the same option as you. I reckon most people would have been like, I can't do it, I'm just going to give up, because it takes so much work to actually persist and see something through.
And there's going to be a chunk of society that, yes, because they're in a victim mode or they're in the effect mode, that where everything is because of something else and not because of what their actions they're taking. I just, through my life, I've just chosen to be very proactive and make the choices that support my goals and dreams.
And was that something that was instilled in you, like in your childhood, or did you pick it up somewhere from, some sort of like mentor, or was it like your environment play a part? Or?
I think it was both. I feel that it was both, because my parents tried to encourage me, but it was also something that was within my nature of, well, I just want to do this, so I would go and do it. I started an investment club when I was 18, my first company when I was still in high school. I was a disc jockey with this voice. I was a disc jockey, and we owned my first company when I was 17 years old, and we got paid to do my own high school dance.
Wow. So you started from a really young age. I know that I definitely, at 18, it would have been for me, like a nice dream, but I was not mature enough wasn't even thinking on that level to start my own company or to see that through.
And call it maturity or call it, I just had dreams, I had goals, and I had courage. We'll say it. I had balls this big and no common sense. I just went out and did things without really going, well, what was the negative thing, or what was it going? I didn't realize that I couldn't do it. So maybe there was some naivety, some not enough life experiences to know that I could get hurt and or things wouldn't go my way. At 17, I learned that it's not a good thing to be in business with your best friends when you're 17. I learned that, but I wouldn't have learned that had I not taken that risk, that chance.
That's right. All right. So I want to talk about your book. So you're a 4-time best-selling author. Massive congratulations. That is,
thank you,
a huge milestone. So I think most people struggle to be, like a one-time best-selling author. So can you tell us about that journey and like the process and how you came about writing books? And then after your first book, you had the memory loss, and then getting back into it, and you said that you're working on, I can't believe it, another 4 books all at the same time. So yeah, can you tell us about that?
Absolutely. I had this reoccurring dream, and it haunted me for weeks. And one day I woke up and I looked at my wife and Tina, and I said, I need to write a novel. And I'd always written stories and short stories, but I had never done anything with it. I just didn't do anything. And I looked at her and she said, fine. But it was the tone of voice she was supporting, but she also knew, I will believe it when I see it. I will support you, but I'll see it when I believe it. And I didn't have an opportunity to get to it and right away. So that night, the dream didn't come back to me. So I thought, well, maybe it's not supposed to. So I did nothing with it. Then about 2-3 weeks later, the dream came back to me. And as it was, I had nothing scheduled on the next morning. I woke up at like 6 a.m. and I just started writing. And I wrote and I wrote and I wrote and I wrote. And it could have stretched for a couple days, writing at nights and day and in the evenings and in the mornings. And then one time I just came into Tina and these big tears are coming down my face. And she's like, what's wrong? What's wrong? And I go, I'm not writing a novel. I'm writing a freaking trilogy. And I was scared because I'd never written one novel. And here I was blessed with knowing that I needed to write 3 books. And I didn't even know how to publish or get one novel done. So I had to do 3. And I was scared and I didn't know what to do. But I kept writing. The key, if you're going to ever be a writer, is just to write. Write. Don't correct. Just write the manuscript out the very first time. You can hire editors. You can hire all the people to support you. But just write. Let the story come out. And so I did. And as blessed as was the divine intervention, God, the universe, good community, I met a woman and she brought me into a community called the Evolutionary Business Council. And they all were in the process. Some of them were in the process of writing books. Some of them were publishers. Some of them had been previously published. And one of my mentors, Teresa de Grabois, she actually had a workshop on how to self-publish. And I didn't take her workshop, but I took her out for coffee and I pulled her brain apart and I went, I can do this. And then I did the number one thing that I have a self-publishing workshop that's occurring in February, but I'll give you the secret right here and right now. The secret to promoting your books is to start now. Promote now. Create a group. Promote it right now. Even before you wrote the first words, tell your friends you are going to be a writer. And I did. And people would ask me and encourage me, how's the books coming? How are they going? I have a friend, we go to a spiritual center, and at the spiritual center right now, he knows I'm writing 4 books. He's always, how is it going? And so it's build your community, and it's anything, because your community and your book is a brand. So this is right up Dre's alley. Whatever you need to do to build your brand is what you're going to need to do to build your book. And you have to start now, today, and even before you write, because the book can be a nonfiction book can be a mechanical process of getting from here to the paper. But anyways, I digress. So I wrote my first book, and with the help of a beautiful community, it skyrocketed and it became an international bestseller. I had books sold in Germany, thank you, Germany. I had in Great Britain, I had in the United States, I had in Canada. And because of the publisher that the self-publishing I used, which was Kindle, I could track where everything was. I had a couple in New Zealand, which was family, and a couple in Australia, which were extended family. So it was an incredible experience to read the reviews afterwards. It just blew my mind away, because every author goes through it. What if nobody likes my book? But to see that it was a bestseller, and to see the beautiful reviews, and to have people tell me that this was, even though it was fiction book, it changed the way they looked at things, was just phenomenal. So then I was just finished book 1, and Tina, my wife at the time, was looking after all the promotion so I could start writing book 2. And just shortly as I started writing book 2, I had memory issues. So we struggled through book 2, and I still had memory issues, and I still have to reread book 2 to get, if somebody wants to talk to me on book 2, I have to reread it so I understand the full scope. Book 1, I can talk about it, all of it. And then book 3, I can talk about what happened in book 3. Book 2 is a little harder. And yeah.
So can I just interrupt you for 1 second? So how long did it take to write book 1, book 2, and book 3? Was there a big difference with book 2?
2 years apiece.
Oh wow, okay.
And only because I chose to take the time and allow it to come through me. I am not one of these writers that will sit down for 2 weeks and have the whole book out, because I experience the emotions, I feel the characters. So if my characters are crying, you bet I am crying over the keyboard. I am pouring my heart and soul into it. And I affectionately told my wife, Tina, at the time, I want to write a sex book because I feel all the emotions. Oh, that was the other thing. When I released book 1, I was #1 on Amazon, #1 for 2 whole days. And then 50 Shades of freaking Grey kicked out.
No!
I absolutely was destroyed.
That's awesome. All right, so was there anything else that you wanted to finish on, talk about in relation to the books, or?
If you're going to be a writer, just write. Write.
Awesome. And you're doing 4 books at the moment, which is like phenomenal. And I just can't get my head around how you can put your focus on each one. And I've written down, so when you were talking, you might have seen me, I went to go and grab a piece of paper and a pen, and I wrote down the tip about promoting the book now. So I've almost finished like my 2nd book. I'm going to make sure that it's a bestseller as well. So thank you for that tip. So I'll make sure that I start promoting that now as well. And can you tell us about your workshop? Because I put my hand up for that, and I've registered for that.
It is, you can go online. It's at neilthrussell.com/events. And it is I've named it 7 Insights to Self-Publishing, because so many people are chasing that they want to be a published author, and good on you. But so many of the big publishing houses are taking on so few new authors that it's very difficult to get a paid published book. So the alternative is you can self-publish it, build a community, and still be a bestseller. Because one of the keys is nobody goes, oh, I'm only going to read books that are from Hay House, or I'm only going to read books that are from Penguin Random House. No, it is the quality of the book and the concept of the book. What's inside that book is what people are going to buy. So with good branding, good marketing, and a great product, everyone can be a bestseller. And the better the product and the better the marketing, the longer you will be on there. And if I had a crystal ball, I would have launched a week earlier, so I wouldn't have had to go with 50 Shades of Grey.
I love that. All right, so just that address again. So it was neilthrussell.com/events, and then that's where people can register for the workshop. Excellent. All right, so can we just touch on marathons? Because how many marathons have you done? That's something else I can't get my head around, that you do it for fun?
For fun. Actually, I find it there's a beginning, and anytime you run, I find that you go, what the hell am I doing? And at the end, you're going, what the hell am I doing? But for me, in the between is very meditative. It's a beautiful, sublime experience. Your foot is just going one after another. And so I've done 3, and I am contemplating a 4th. And this becomes where I need to honor my wife's time and talk about it, because training takes a lot of time and energy away from family. So I need to make sure that she's okay with it, because as the distances increase, I could be gone for 4 hours, three times a week.
Of course. Oh, 3 times a week. A week.
Yes.
Oh man. Okay. To me, it just sounds like torture. It's awesome though. It's absolutely awesome. So yeah.
Each to our own. You get up. Your preferred preferences is to get up at some unearthly hour when it's still dark out and stagger down the street to some gym and work out. And I would sooner spend my time snuggled up with my wife as opposed to going to a gym. Same thing. I'm going, why would you go to a gym every day?
Yeah. All right. So last question about the marathon. So when you're running, do you have music, or are you thinking about like content for your books or your coaching, or what are you thinking about for all of that time? Because I know that my mind would be going like everywhere.
Again, it's very meditative. So in the beginning, there's thoughts. At the end, there's thoughts. And in between, other than you're looking and scanning the path to make sure it's safe and you're aware of your surrounding, for me, it becomes just one foot in front of the other.
Okay. And because you're in Canada,
Canada,
and it's cold there, so you will train in the winter, run in the winter when it's minus.
I ran today, but today was warm. I'm slightly asthmatic, so when it is -6 Celsius, I won't run past that. But others will run, because you just dress for it. You dress for it.
Man, that's awesome. Absolutely awesome. All right. So is the best way for people to get a hold of you on your website, or through Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram or MySpace or Pinterest, Twitter? Yeah.
Since Facebook is probably the easiest method. But you can go to my website, but Facebook is probably the best for an interaction, see what really I'm about.
Awesome. All right, and we've got the link in the show notes for the guys that are listening on like Apple and Spotify and the rest. All right, Neil, very last question. So you know that I'm absolutely obsessed with dad jokes, and I know that you love dad jokes as well because you've sent me quite a few. So do you have either a dad joke, a quote, something inspirational, something motivational, something empowering, something of value that you would like to leave us with?
I thought about dad jokes and then the brain just went, but I would like to leave you with, and your viewers, your listeners with, if you can dream it, I ask you to take the risk and go for it. If you want it, let go of society's thoughts and beliefs and take a chance and go for it, because you are worthy of all your hopes, dreams, and aspirations.
Somebody call Nadal, and if they can't find Nadal, get Ash Barty, because you just absolutely smashed it. So Neil, just want to say a massive, huge thank you to you. And you are... Sorry, I had to cut that short because it was really loud. You are, man, just so inspirational, and your journey, and I don't know how you manage, because I know you've got so many projects going on, and how you manage all of that. And you are just an incredible guy that leads like from the heart. So I just want to say a massive, huge thank you to you for coming on today, sharing your story, but also delivering knowledge bombs and just gold. So there's so many lessons that can be taken away from that. So I just want to say thank you so much, Neil.
Thank you for having me on your incredible show. Thank you.
So welcome.